Today, I wanted to talk about Sun's transit into Leo, which will start on August 17th, and it will last through Sunday, September 17th, will be his first day in Virgo. So, Sun owns the sign of Leo, and so he is very strong there. And he can bring clarity on one hand, but also the Sun can be really overwhelming. So, we need to remember in this next month to take a lot of breaks, not overcommit, and literally keep cool because the Sun is a huge fiery planet. There's a lot of good qualities. So let's talk about what the sign of Leo means, and especially what Sun means there. The first thing is Leo is where we become aware of our place in society. Sun in Leo emphasizes thoughts about rank and status. This awakens a desire in us to rise in status. We may seek to improve our position in society through taking leadership roles. This sign represents our ability to be leaders, but we must remember to remain balanced. So this also indicates that leaders all over the world, people in leadership positions in your company that you work for, if you're the head of your own company, in government and everything, they are going to be emphasized this month and greatly affected by the conditions we're going to talk about. Leo is also about lineage, both our ancestors, what we inherited, but also what we leave behind, our children or our offspring, our creativity, whatever we contributed to the world. We start our journey from our family, and so that puts us in a certain place in society, in the world. And that's the signs of Aries through Cancer really illuminate those areas. But now the Sun's moving into Leo, and we start to venture out into the larger world, from a developmental perspective. In Leo, we must take responsibility for our contributions to the world. We must work to make our own heaven and not fall into our personal hell of unrealistic expectations fueled by an inflated ego. Leo is often, we think of leaders, and ego, the word, is often correlated in English with our inflated ego. But actually, Freud first coined the term, and he used the German word ich, meaning I am. So it's really our sense of self. And so this month, due to some of the transits that are happening, you may feel your sense of self changing and growing, hopefully, but you also may feel kind of challenged and oppressed. So just know that this is part of a developmental cycle, and Forewarned will help you to manage it even better. All in all, Leo is a dharmic sign, which means that for every action, there's a consequence. So we have to be ready to accept the consequences of our actions throughout this month. The other thing is the way we advance is most likely, especially in today's world, through knowledge. So knowledge is said to be the currency that paves the way for our rise in society. So knowledge can also bring financial benefits and can even tempt us to engage in financial speculation. So financial speculation is a big part of the sign of Leo. So here we may see governments taking some risks, corporations having results of like the actions that they've done will tend to come back this month. On a personal level, just be very aware that you may be feeling stuck this month, and you may be unsure what to do. The market is not predictable. It's likely to be, my guess is that it's going to be at a stalemate. So, factor that into how you want to take action and do your investments. The other thing about Leo, which I love, is this is where the goddess Saraswati also lives, and she's the goddess of knowledge. So she said to sit on the tip of our tongue. And so mantras are a big part of Saraswati and Leo. So she really empowers the mantra. Now, mantras we all think is, they are prescribed and all this kind of stuff. But the other thing you have to remember, your repetitive thought becomes your mantra. So this is a power, a chance to take the power of the sun and change some of those chronic thoughts that we have. So like if, especially with what we've seen about um like if you feel like you're not doing enough, if you're not getting the rewards you expect, all those kind of negative things that actually end up bringing us down, this is a chance to harness the power of the sun to change those thoughts and go more towards a positive outlook in life. But it will take a lot of effort. The good thing is, when you can overcome something with a lot of effort, it tends to last longer. Easy changes go away in a couple days, but if you really spend this next month from August 17th to September 17th, concentrating on changing a particular behavior or pattern, you're likely to get lasting results that will help you for quite a while. Um, so we have to be aware of our thoughts and our speech. These are the two greatest ways we also accrue karma in this lifetime. So practice having dharmic or positive thoughts and speech, and especially this month, you'll be building your way towards a much better tomorrow. It's often shocking to think about everything you think and everything that you say have consequences and on the very subtle energetic level. So, don't beat yourself up too much about that because that doesn't give good karma either. But learn to be gentle with yourself and learn to just not have an opinion on a lot of things. Now that's going to be hard this month because Leo is all about opinions. But so see what's coming up for you. The best way to work with this kind of information, I think, is just observe what you're doing and just see, like, what are you watching? What are you scrolling through? What is all this kind of stuff? What are you putting into your mind and how are you reacting to it? This month especially, you may want to take, time to just calm down because it's going to be very hot. The other thing, there's the potential here for romance because Leo is about romance. In Gemini, we have dating. In Leo, we have romance. And in Libra, we often get marriage. So this could be a chance if you're looking for, more romance in your life, or if you want to rekindle romance with your own partner, this would be a very positive way to use the energy that you're going to be getting for this month. So now throughout the time that Sun will be in Leo, he will having a full aspect from Saturn. So Sun and Saturn are both malefic planets, which means that they are they give you obstacles that you have to overcome so that you can get the progress. So whenever two malefics are aspecting each other, and they're both also in their own sign, so they're both very strong, and they're looking right at each other all month. It's like, I think, of two bulls locking horns. This is what I think could create a stalemate this month, that it's going to be equal and opposing forces, that there may not be a lot of progress. Now, that can happen on a personal level, it can happen on your community level, it can happen on the government and even the world level. So I anticipate that this will be not a great time of like big change or sweeping progress. The other thing it will be interesting to watch for is I don't know where you are, but most of the world seems to be pretty divided right now. Here in the US, it's very much like one polarization is like the two political parties are really locking horns. And so I think that process will just continue. It may get a little more coverage just because the sun is, if it's possible to get more coverage, I shouldn't have said it, like it's just everywhere. But the way we can handle that is pull back and realize that we have to keep ourselves calm and peaceful and resilient. And that's why I advise my clients not to really over engage in social media, political news, things of the day, because they're often things we don't have any direct input on. The sun like goes, I mean, we all circle around the sun. All the planets move around the sun. We're not going to change the sun, but we can try to keep peace in our hearts, and then that helps us go through the storm a little bit better. So I think that stalemate is going to be a major theme. The other thing that's quite interesting is that during Sun's transit through Leo, Mercury will be there the whole time with him. Now, that's not unusual because Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, so he is never very far from the Sun. But what is interesting to note is that Mercury will be turning retrograde on August 24th, and he will be retrograde all the way up until September 19th. So, and that's the last day that Sun is in Leo. Mercury will then be turning direct. So we all know about Mercury retrogrades. They're very common. They happen 3 times a year. The standard thing we do is to realize that your logic and your problem-solving skills may be impaired during this time. It is most acute on the day that Mercury changes and changes direction. So on August 24th, mark that down on your calendar, Mercury is stationing, which is when he stops before he moves backwards. And then on September 19th, he has the other station where he stops and starts to move forward. So those are days where you don't want to, the classic thing is don't make any big purchases, don't sign contracts, don't try to decide important issues on that day. It's just a day to realize that you may not be seeing the whole picture, because Mercury is the one who helps us solve puzzles. So those are 2 dates to keep in mind. It's a great day to just relax and let go, especially on the 19th, because on 16th, on September 16th, Sun is also in the last degree of a sign. So whenever any planet is in the last degree of a sign or the first degree of another one, it's in a transition phase. So even the Sun's energy is going through this kind of awkward moment. So there can be confusion and everything. So, you know, it's not going to be, it happens like all the time. I don't want to scare anyone. But if you can pick days, I would avoid those for even things like travel, because the Sun and Mercury there, computers, Mercury rules communications, all that kind of stuff. There could be glitches. So those would be good days to just be in place and enjoy the day. Now, the other date I want to give you for this month is that in the middle of the retrograde cycle, so Mercury is ahead of the Sun at the beginning of the month. He stops, he starts going backwards. And on September 6th, he will combust the Sun, which means they're in the same exact degree. So what this means is that with the brightness of the Sun, Mercury's energy can't reach us. So Mercury is kind of offline for that day. So that's another special day to take it easy. There's a lot of days to take it easy this month, with the overarching thing of Sun and Saturn locking horns, and then Mercury on those 3 dates, the 24th of August, the 6th of September, and the 16th of September. Those would be what I would put in my calendar as like red letter days. Don't overbook yourself. Don't plan any big decisions. Don't plan any travel. Otherwise, it's a great time to enjoy it. Leo, Sun in Leo can give us a real feeling of energy and kind of like it can be, a very empowering feeling. So you may get a lot of creative ideas during this time. It's good to keep those down in a journal, because then you may not be the time to implement them, but in the coming months ahead, you can. So as always, I hope this was informative and enjoyable. Please visit me at billsinclair.com. I do individual consultations. If you are a Vedic astrologer, I do tutoring for people, and would love to get to know you. Thanks a lot and have a great day.